I've noticed in your argument, you keep calling women chicks and men, and I think that's extremely biased.
Okay,
because
I
it
don't
kind of
care
proves
about your
your point.
emotional state, lady.
It's not emotional.
Lady,
It's not
real
emotional.
quick,
It's
I don't
very
care
much
about.
just it's
Lady,
just
I
an
have an observation. My observation is that you're being emotional right now. Your emotions does not win an argument.
It's very much a misogynistic thing. But
So
anyways.
another emotional state argument. Women don't deserve equal rights. All right. I'm sure you heard me speaking about this already. So what's your argument? Why do you think women do deserve equal rights?
Not really. No, I just got here, so I would love to know your argument, if that's okay.
Okay, I already just hashed this out with the other guy, but I'll go ahead and explain it to you. Totally fine. So my argument is...
I just got here, so...
Totally fine. So my argument is super simple. When I say women don't deserve equal rights, let's look at a few words, a few terms. Let's define our terms. So deserve, what's the meaning of deserve? Deserve would be something that's earned, something that's warranted. Those are like synonyms to understand and give meaning to the word deserve. When we look at the word rights, like rights themselves, well, that's a little bit more complex, right? This would be something that we would have to speak about. So let me ask you, what do you think a right truly is?
Well, so far you've explained to me the word deserve, but I would what I want to debate is why women deserve less than men. That's what I want to know.
Well, I mean, that's not what I said, but I guess you can take it. You can take it from there.
I mean, no, I can answer your question, but I mean, like, I would love to know what your argument is first for me to debate it.
Okay. All right. So I'll just go ahead and give you my argument, and then we can go ahead and untangle it down the road. I wanted to do the semantics first, so we don't have to go through it, but it's totally fine. So the argument is this: rights equals force. That's my belief, my position. Every right equals force. So rights are a social construct, as things that people agree on. But how does this social construct come to reality? Well, it needs to be upheld and enforced. It's going to resort down to some sort of violence. And men and women do not share the same physical capacity. Men are vastly stronger than women. When we look currently in today's time and throughout history, all of the police force and the military has been majority of men, if not 100% of men. Thus, rights equals force. So any type of right you think you have, a right to walk down the street, a right to go to school, a right to vote, these are things that all are upheld by a collection of men. Thus, women do not deserve equal rights because they can't enforce rights for themselves and they can't enforce rights for other men. If they could enforce rights for themselves and other men, this wouldn't be my prompt. I would say that it's equal then. Men and women are equal. We can both enforce our own rights.
Okay. Well, thank you for explaining that. I did want to have more insight because it's important. So when you say that women and obviously men are physically stronger, would you agree on the premise that men and women are very different? Women are better at some things and men are better at some things. Would you agree with that?
Well, generally, sure, there can be some women that's better at certain things than men. And there's certain things that men are better at than women. Generally, I would say sure.
Okay. So in which case, I think that kind of cancels out your argument because you take the one thing that men are better at, which is obviously we know it's a fact that that men are physically stronger than women, and you apply it to the rights. Versus the fact that women are way stronger at so many other things that are not physical. For example,
again,
men would not be able to reproduce. When men would not be able to reproduce without women being present, right? We were given the right. I know I've seen you go around. You're religious. I'm not, but. If we take just the reproduction right, women have been given by God, by the universe, whatever you believe in, the right to reproduce, and the ability to reproduce. That on its own is something that men would never be able to do. So if I were to take your argument that, hey, men are stronger in this, right? In this one aspect. And so that gives them the right to have more rights than women. I can come in and say, hey, women have these abilities to do X, Y, and Z, and we can debate the things that women are better at than men. We can debate that all day, and I'm sure we'll disagree on some things. When it comes to, let's just take the reproduction fact, women can make babies, men can't, right? That would give, based on your view, women more right than men, right? I don't agree, by the way. I don't agree with your fact that women don't deserve equal rights.
Yeah,
but if I were to
real
go
quick,
based
let
on
me,
your,
because you were, kind of speed rolling there. So let's just tackle a few things that you said there, right? So I think your argument, the crux of your argument is standing on two pillars, right? And one of the pillars is that, well, generally men and women are better at certain things than one another. That's one pillar. The other pillar is, women can birth babies. So those two pillars, right?
That's one example, yes.
Okay, got it. So those two pillars does not refute the position, because when we're looking at what a right is a social construct, something that we would agree on, right? That's all it is. Do you agree? Like a right is things that we agree that we should have?
By we, who's we?
People in society.
Okay, well, that goes into a whole different thing, because, okay, I live in France, right? The rights that I have, or the rights that are agreed upon in this society, are not the same that you have. I'm guessing you're in the United States of America. Rights are defined, right?
Yeah,
in a certain manner, that it's fluid. So I would say that we don't all agree on the same rights, but sure.
All right. We may not agree. Everybody may not agree on the same right, but a right itself is a social construct. Like when you think of a right, well, I have a right to do this. I have a right to walk down the street. I have a right to go to the school. I have a right to teach my kids. I have a right to do all of these things. These are all things that we think about. And then a collection of people agree on these things. And then what actually makes that come true? My argument is, I'm saying that, well, what makes it come true is going to reduce down to violence. It's going to reduce down to, if me and you agree that you have a right to walk down a street, that's what me and you agree on, right? You, my lady, hypothetically, hey, honey, you got a right to walk down that street. And you're like, okay, honey, I'm going to go ahead and walk down that street. And then 3 dudes come out of nowhere with machetes and guns. And they're like, woman, you don't have a right to walk down the street. So then you're going to look at me like, honey, I thought you said I have a right. I'm going to come out the house with my blicky, but it's a 3-on-1. So the probability is very slim for me to enforce the right for you. Because it's just me versus 3 men with guns, machetes, and all of this. So in that situation, most men are going to lose. So I'm not going to be able to uphold this idea that me and you agreed on, because I'm going to get killed off and they're going to take you, right? So when we look at what a right is, what it simply reduces down to is violence. To actually make that thing, be true and uphold that idea. You get what I'm saying? So when your one pillar, when we're looking at your one pillar, and that one pillar is men and women are generally better at certain things than one another, that's great, but what's the one thing that can uphold or enforce this idea that we have in our minds? Well, that one thing is going to come down to the physical differences between men and women. Men are vastly stronger, which you agreed. Thus, men are going to be more capable to enforce and uphold a right. Like, it's not going to come down to who can do the best makeup, who has empathy. It's not going to come down to empathy. It's going to come down to force.
Down to who can outsmart the other. It could come down to that. And women in a lot of cases can outsmart men in a lot of cases. Would you agree?
Okay. So same scenario, but it's just you. I didn't come to your rescue yet. So we agree that you have a right to walk down the street. You start walking down the street, la-di-da-di-da-di. 3 guys come with a machete and 2 with guns. How can you outsmart them?
Well, there's obviously in this hypothetical scenario where I'm walking down the street and people walk up to me. There's a bajillion ways you can outsmart them.
You're not answering the question. Go ahead.
Talk to them. You can give them incentives.
No, they don't want you to walk down that street. They disagree. They're not willing to compromise.
Well, in what world is that the case? In what world?
That's the world.
You just brought up an extremely hypothetical scenario that you made up to prove your point that because men are going to enforce rights using violence, right? That women shouldn't have equal rights.
So let's live in reality real quick. Is your name Luna?
Let's live in reality.
So Luna, let's live in reality.
Yeah.
In reality, are there always, universally, are there always going to be people that disagree with you?
Sure.
Okay, if that's reality, then my hypothetical is not that far off. My hypothetical is literally based in reality, meaning that you think that you have a right to walk down the street. There's people that think that you don't. They disagree with you. They're not willing to compromise. Why do you think we have 2 political parties, the Democrats and the Republicans? They disagree. They're not willing to compromise on certain things. The Dems, you know what? A man can be a woman and a woman can be a man. They don't want to compromise on that. And guess what? The Republicans, they're not compromising either. No, there's only 2 genders. There's only 2 sexes. You get what I'm saying? So we know in reality that people do not compromise. Things resort down to violence. And I'm simply stating here that when you look at a right, what it truly is, it equals force. It equals someone's ability to enforce their beliefs on someone else. That's what it equals.
Well, in a democracy, that's not the case because there's consequences to the violence that you will when you will enforce or use violence. So no,
How can we have a democracy? Having a democracy means that we have a right to have a democracy. There's someone that's upholding the democracy.
The government is upholding the democracy.
Okay, so if it's the case that the government is upholding this idea of a democracy, this means that there's going to be men that is enforcing this idea of a democracy. So we only have a democracy because men enforce a democracy. Tomorrow, if a collection of men come together and say, you know what, we don't have a democracy no more, we're going to defeat the people that think that we have a democracy. If they win, we don't have a democracy. If they lose, well, we still got a democracy. But my point still stands that it's going to be men to enforce the ideas that we have in our mind.
Not necessarily. It can be. Why do you keep saying men need to enforce this idea? Why is the center of this argument men need to do X, Y, and Z? Society has men and women. Both men and women are in the government. Both men and women enforce things in their own way. We don't live in a world. We don't live in a primitive world where everybody can do whatever they want.
You know why?
There is such a thing.
Wait, do you know why we don't live in a primitive world where everyone can do whatever they want? You know why?
I would love for you to tell me.
Yeah. It has nothing to do with women. It has everything to do with men. Men create order in societies. Women do not create order in societies. We're speaking about the thing.
Because there are matriarchal societies all around the world. Obviously.
Has there ever been a matriarchy that stood the test of time?
Well, we're talking about primitive societies here. You just mentioned, I'm speaking specifically about primitive societies. There is right now in Africa, tribes right now ran strictly by women that are still existing right now. So yes, they do exist just because in your world, in your small world of the United States of America or Northern America exists.
Please name the tribe
I don't have the names off the top of my head, but they do exist. I'm happy to Google it.
It's a lie. But listen, if there is a tribe of women, like some Amazonian chicks that come together and they're just doing their thing, they're like all empathetic and sensitive to one another, and on their periods, they get together and hold hands or something. I don't know what type of tribe that'd be, but it sounds like that's what it would look like. Now, if there is a tribe like that, well, the only way it can be a tribe like that is men allow it to be a tribe like that. Because guess what? Men, listen, we got needs. And if we see a bunch of women together, hey, them chicks look like they finna be my chicks over there. So the only way that they can have a tribe is if we allow them to have a tribe. Thus, they're not giving themselves the right to this tribe. Men are allowing them to have this tribe by our own benevolence.
No, that's not okay. I'll answer your question, but I just pulled it up. I have like a bunch of names now, right in front of me. There is the Mosuo. I'm probably not pronouncing these names right, but there's a tribe in China called Mosuo. There is the Minang Kabau tribe in Indonesia. All of these are tribes considered.
Okay, so there's tribes.
Anyway, I cannot.
Okay, listen, no, you just proved my point and you refuted your own. You said that there's tribe. I'm gonna explain. You said that there's tribes and countries. You named countries. You named a country in Africa, and you named Indonesia. So you're naming countries. There's tribes and a country. And what's a country consist of? A government, right? And a collection of men, a military that enforces all the things that they want inside this country. So if there is a tribe in some country of women, it's because men allow it to be a tribe. Now you need to point to, listen, you need to point to a country, a nation state. You need to point to something like that that's filled with women enforcing rights for other men and rights for themselves. A society is a collection of men and women. If you point to a tribe, there can be a tribe of some chicks that's in a country already that's built to protect them. That's totally fine. They're allowed to have that. We're speaking about a matriarchy. A matriarchy is a nation state, a country.
Can I just point out before I answer to your point?
Sure, go ahead.
I've noticed in your argument, you keep calling women chicks and men, and I think that's extremely biased.
Okay, I don't care about your emotional state, lady.
It's not emotional.
Lady,
it's not emotional.
real quick,
it's
I don't care about. Lady, I have an observation. My observation is that you're being emotional right now. Your emotions does not win an argument. Right? So I don't care about your emotional state. It's actually a logical fallacy to appeal to emotions to try to like make a point. And that's silly. Your observation shows your observation. Guess what? Your observation is projecting your emotional state.
You do not. You subconsciously will never get to a point where you're open enough for a debate like this to change your mind.
I'm the only one that's debating. And you are making a logical fallacy, which is appeal to emotions. So I don't care about your emotional state. And my observation is that you're just projecting your emotions because you're saying that, well, you're never really going to get across to other women because you call women chicks and you call men men. That's your emotional state. No one cares about that. That's not an argument.
Okay. I understand what's going on. Okay. You obviously, I don't know your people very well, but it's very much a misogynistic thing.
Another emotional state argument, misogynistic. Well, can you prove that it's misogynistic?
What can I prove that what is misogynistic?
You're making statements and claims. Can you demonstrate how my platform is a misogynistic platform, which basically, essentially, that's what you're saying?
Before I answer your question, I want to, for one, what I said about the observation is not emotional because it tells you subconsciously that you are somebody who, obviously a debate is a back and forth that at the end, hopefully somebody will change their mind or at least will get to a certain consensus, right? That is what a debate is. The fact that you use different language to refer to men and women shows subconsciously that you will never be open to a different idea that is different from yours. That's why it's not an emotional argument. It just shows your state. So when I realized
how
that
can you well, actually, I'll let you finish. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Okay.
It's fine.
So you were attempting to psychoanalyze me, and your analysis of me, because that's what you were trying to do. You're telling me how I view the world from my perspective, right? So once again, yeah, that's what you just attempted to do.
I'm telling you.
So now you're lying.
I'm not lying. Okay, I'm telling, that's exactly what I said. I'm telling you that I want to let you know that there is a bias. I'm not telling you how you view the world. I don't know anything about you, by the way. I landed on the stream. I saw that I don't know who you are. I've seen you around. So I wanted to debate an idea. It has nothing to do against you or me. I'm telling you that you have a certain bias that could be harmful to debates like these. Okay, so
I have a certain bias. So how do you know that I have a certain bias without psychoanalyzing me?
Okay, explain to me.
Wait, why and can you answer that question? How do you know? You tried to say that real quick. You tried to state that you weren't psychoanalyzing me. I'm letting you know that, yeah, you were, and answer this question. How do you know that I have a bias without psychoanalyzing me?
I can tell you by watching your words, saying that you refer to men as men and referring to women as chicks. Explain to me.
What's the conclusion?
Okay, explain to me why that difference.
So, no, you're asking me a question, real quick. You're asking me a question without answering my question. The conclusion, how can you truly know that I have a bias if you're not projecting what you think I think about women? Just because I use a different term and I say call women chicks, this doesn't mean that I look at, a woman as less than or anything. This would be that this would be you imprinting your view of what chicks are. That's what that is. No, again, you're interrupting me while I'm speaking. I didn't interrupt you. I'm actually letting you speak, but you're never answering the question. So again, you're making a strong claim here, and the claim is strong. You're saying that Cooley, you basically have a misogynistic platform, and you're never going to get anywhere because you have a bias against women. And I'm asking you, real quick, I'm asking you, this bias that I have against women, how did you determine that? You determined this from psychoanalyzing me. This would be true, right? How else can you determine this?
All of that. I didn't realize.
Can you just say yes because that's what you're doing? Can you say yes so we can move on and then I can cook you? Which one? Can you just say yes?
No, I'm not going to say yes.
Okay, so you're not. No. Okay, so how can you say that someone has a bias without psychoanalyzing them?
Because I don't need to psychoanalyze you to make a.
You're telling me. So okay. So real quick.
You're not letting me.
The word chick. No, because you're not answering the question. The word chick, right?
I was.
You think the word chick, does it have a negative connotation to you? The word chicks.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Okay. So wait. If the word chicks doesn't have a negative connotation to you, then the word man, does that have a negative connotation to you?
Absolutely not.
Okay, so if the word chicks, you have a problem with the word chicks, but it doesn't have a negative connotation.
I don't. That's the
so now you're gaslighting? You literally just got upset and emotional about the word chicks.
I don't have an issue with the word chick. I don't have an issue with the word men. What I said is you said your name is Cooley?
Just Cooley, answer the question, woman.
I'm going to say my point. If you're not going to let me say my point, there's no point.
I've been letting you speak. Go ahead.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm saying look at the difference, okay? Obviously, different words have different meaning. You use them in a different scenario, okay? When you refer to men as men while you're talking without realizing it, you're saying men and men and men, you would expect somebody who thinks of people as,
so
equal. If you said dudes, just let me finish. Okay. If you said dudes, or any other equal word to chicks, okay. If you said dudes, guys, whatever, you would be using that language that is equivalent to chicks. Right? Because you're talking that way. That's your tone. That's
okay. So how is it biased?
Okay, I would like to finish.
No, how is it biased? If it's equal, there's no negative connotation to it. Stop it. Listen. If it's equal, there's no negative connotation to the word chicks or a man or anything like that. Then please point out the biasness. How is it biased? How am I biased? How am I a misogynist?
Because the word. Would you agree that we use different words in different contexts? Would you agree?
Are you contradicting yourself now?
No. Okay.
Like, does the word no. Instead of ask, listen real quick. Here's Luna. I got you, Luna. You're gonna get there, Luna. Luna, trust me. You're gonna get Luna. I'm trying to help you out, Luna. I got you, Luna. Listen, the entire chat wants you to answer at least one of my questions, Luna. Please. So just answer this one question.
If you stop cutting,
I got you. But Luna, you can't. I'm gonna let you know what you're doing. When I ask you a question, you actually never answer it. You then resort to asking me a question, and then you make assertions.
Well, when I start answering it, you stop.
So
and
Luna,
you say something else.
Listen to this. You said that I'm biased. The reason why you said I'm biased, don't gaslight and lie, is because I call women chicks and I call men. So if there's a bias there, but then you say that, well, there's no negative connotation to chicks and there's no negative connotation to men, it's equal terms for men and women, then where's the bias? That's what I'm asking you. Where is the bias?
Okay.
Answer that. Sure, go ahead.
Can I talk without you interrupting me this time?
But no, real quick. I need an answer. Go ahead. Where's the bias?
Okay, wonderful. When we are linguistically speaking and you're using a word that you would use in a different context, obviously when you're talking to me versus you're talking to your family, you're talking to your guy friends, you're going to use different language. Would you agree with that? Yes. I mean, don't answer that. Let me answer your question.
Chat, see, she can't answer a question.
When you're talking...
What? Just answer the question. Where's the bias?
I would like to continue talking if you'd like to hear the question. Otherwise, I can just get off. It's not an issue.
I don't want you to...
If you'd let me finish...
Luna, I want you to answer my question, not ask me a question.
I am answering your question. You use... different, not you, but all of us use different language when we're talking to in different contexts, okay? The word chick is not a negative word. However, it is used in a different context depending on who you're talking to, okay? When you say, men, the equivalent of it is women. When you say chicks, the equivalent of it is guys, dudes, whatever. So it's not a negative connotation, but you switched your tone around when you started talking about women in your sentence, because if you didn't, you would have used an equivalent word. We use the word chicks when men are talking to each other, they use the word chicks. When women are talking to each other and they're like, oh my gosh, this guy is so cute. You don't say this man. You rarely say this man is so cute unless you're obviously angry. So it's a different linguistic value. It's not that it's a negative connotation. It's a different value. So that shows your bias.
Okay, got it.
Well, thank you. We got.
Are you done?
We got somewhere because at least I finished my point. So
okay, got it. Now listen to this, right? Yeah. Now, if the bias is in the context and how I use it, right? Mm-hmm. How would you know the context of how I'm using the word chicks without psychoanalyzing me? I already told you. You need to agree that you are psychoanalyzing me so we can just move on and then I can cook you and then I can psychoanalyze you. You want me to psychoanalyze you? I think that you think the way you think because you are indoctrinated by feminism and you have this negative biased view against men. I actually think... Wait, Luna. I'm talking. I need you to hush.
Now who is psychoanalyzing the other? Look at you backtracking. Love it. Let's hear it. Let's hear it.
Okay, Luna, I need you to be quiet real quick. Again, I don't have a problem.
Be quiet, honey.
Luna, I'll let you speak.
One thing I'm not going to do is be quiet.
I got you. I noticed that you were psychoanalyzing me. I don't have a problem with that. I'm letting you know that I'm just psychoanalyzing you back. Do you get it? Right? So this is me psychoanalyzing you. What I observed from you is that you are a misandrist. You call me a misogynistic. You are a misandrist. You have this biased view against men because you probably come from a broken home. You probably was promiscuous in your past. Do you have a man?
I don't come from a broken home.
Do you have a man?
I have an amazing relationship with my parents.
Do you have a man?
Both of my parents that were still
No, that's not my question. Do you have a man?
Why are we talking about me? My personal life has nothing
because
to do with
I know you don't have a man. Because the way you view men, I know you don't have a man. You don't have a man. You're single. You're a single 30-year-old woman. This is me psychoanalyzing you. Here's my psychoanalysis of you. You are a single. Stop talking while I'm speaking. You're muted now. You are a single 30-year-old woman and you're washed up. You look horrible. Your forehead is big and your makeup is crazy. Get out of here. And she ran off looking all silly. Look, the crazy thing is, chat, she couldn't handle the heat. She can be on my stream, call me a misogynist. She can say that, oh, I have a bias against women. All of these things with no evidence, just assertions. Then I cook her, I get her down to everything that basically she's just psychoanalyzing me. And if that's the case, if you're psychoanalyzing me, then it's fair for me to psychoanalyze you. But it's funny how when her feet is in a fire, she wants to go ahead and run off, right?
Why are you running? Why are you running?
She wants to go ahead and jump off stream because she can't handle me cooking her. We can tell that she's a 30-year-old single woman that can't get a man and can't keep a man that she wants. Now, of course, you know, guy standards are low. So it's going to be some guys that maybe want a relationship with her. But the guys that want a relationship with her, she doesn't want a relationship with them. Therefore, she can't attract and retain the type of man that she truly wants. She is cooked. Finito. So if you like this video and want to watch more, click right here. But if you want to watch the full episode, click right here.